Hello, and here we are at the Besser Museum in Alpena, Michigan, and we are looking at the 1911 Alpena Flyer. And this is the only one known to exist in the entire world. We're going to take a quick walk around it, check out some of the things about it. Gotta love these old brass era cars. Of course, we call them that because they've got all this brass up front. See this thing coming down the road, and you guys see nothing but brass. The big old headlamps, and of course the radiator. This car is in blue, and that, of course, is the only color this car came in that year. Now, the Alpena Flyer was built by the Alpena Motor Car Company, which went into existence in about 1910 and made cars until about 1913 or so. And it's kind of hard to nail down exactly production figures, typical of every optimistic car builder. They had told reporters they're going to be building hundreds, if not thousands of cars a year. And of course, they probably never got anywhere near 1,000 cars, probably over the entire life of the company. So this right here is a 1911, and they did actually have a couple different years. They made them in 11, 12, and 13 also. And then the company went out of business by 1914, I think is when they closed down entirely. In case you're curious, this is a Northway engine, and it's a four-cylinder. And you'll notice that those blocks, there's actually kind of like two blocks there. They actually made those in pairs, as they would say. So, put out all of 33 horsepower. I think the starter motor on most cars do that these days. Now, I'm kidding, of course, about that. But, this is a beautiful car. Back then, it cost, I think, $1,100, $1,200, something like that. And so it was not a cheap car. In fact, I think this one here was about $1,450 back in the day, and you could do the math on that. Now, it was an expensive car for its time because other cars could be gotten for less money. But of course, back then, you start a car company, start selling cars, you hope you catch on, and Alpena Motor Car Company is one that just didn't quite catch on. But 3-speed transmission. And, of course, it's right-hand drive, as they were wont to do at the time. And in case you're curious, that, of course, is part of the ignition and spark control on the steering wheel. So while you're driving this thing, you were busy. There were pedals, of course. There was the levers, of course. And then, of course, like I said, there's more controls on the steering wheel. I don't even pretend to know how to drive such a vehicle. But I know that was pretty common back then, that while you're driving along, you might be doing things like playing with the spark advance and so on. And, of course, we got these beautiful old wagon-style wheels. The vehicle's got a kind of a funky suspension. If you look underneath it, you'll see that there's got those the springs there. And one of the reasons that we don't know about Alpena anymore is because of the suspension. Another car company sued them for patent infringement, and apparently that litigation, we don't know how it ended, but that litigation pretty much drained the company financially to the point where they were forced into insolvency. And the assets of the company were basically auctioned off in 1914, and that was the end of the entire story. This vehicle here was found by a gentleman, and it was in a basket case setting, and he got it restored by a place called Restorations Unlimited. It took them 9 years to make the car look like this, and Ron Winter is the owner of the vehicle. This is an absolutely beautiful restoration, and like I said, it's the one and only Alpena Flyer in existence, unless until somebody finds another one in a barn or in a basket case setting someplace. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk around the 1911 Alpena Flyer at the Besser Museum in Alpena, Michigan. Thanks for hanging out with me. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.